I'm Nicole from Move America, and today we're going to be joined by Dr. Nicole DuPuis, who is the Vice President of Innovative Mobility and Emerging Technologies at ITS America. So thank you so much for joining us today. Really happy to have you here. So first of all, tell us a bit about ITS America and what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So ITS America, it stands for the Intelligent Transportation Society of America, is a Washington, D.C. based membership and advocacy group. And we work toward the development and deployment of intelligent transportation systems in the U.S. So I'll tell you a little bit more about what that means. We were established actually back in 1991 as a non-for-profit organization. And our goal is really at the heart of it is to integrate technology into the transportation system to ensure that it is safer, greener, smarter, and more equitable. So we are a membership organization. Our members include state and city departments of transportation, regional and local transportation entities and planning agencies, private companies that provide ITS products and services, and auto manufacturers and suppliers, research entities such as academic institutions, and then other industry associations as well. So at ITS America, I personally serve as the Vice President for Emerging Technology and Innovative Mobility, which means I kind of lead the development of ITS America's strategic framework for innovation and innovative mobility, and all of the policy and programs that are associated with that. So I work with ITS America's standing committees to do that. And I also, of course, work with our leadership, which would be our board of directors. The two committees that I mentioned that I serve specifically as staff advisor to in this role include our Mobility on Demand Committee and our Emerging Technologies Committee. And then also a huge part of my role at ITS America is to kind of track local, regional, and national, and in some cases, global mobility trends and technology developments in the transportation ecosystem. So that's kind of a quick overview of the organization as a whole and my role within it.
Lovely. And so as you mentioned, three of your goals: safer, greener, smarter. And like you mentioned, quite a lot of projects that you've got going on there to try and do this. So what are the solutions that you're offering to try and make cities these three things?
Yeah, so those goals, safer, greener, smarter, they really serve to underpin and drive our work in a big way. So as an organization, we are constantly working toward advancing research and deployment of intelligent transportation technologies with those things in mind: to save lives, to improve mobility, to increase accessibility and equity, to promote sustainability, and then overall just to improve efficiency and productivity within the transportation ecosystem, but also within the economy. We do that in several ways. We do that by convening leaders from the public sector, private sector, academia, research institutions, to create an environment that really fosters innovation in the transportation ecosystem. We do that by promoting a legislative and regulatory environment that supports investment in and deployment of intelligent transportation technologies. And we do things like conducting research, educating stakeholders, and building public awareness of all of these advancements that we're seeing in the smart technology space. So those are kind of just some of the actions we take toward our goals. Ultimately, we're working to facilitate a future that encompasses those tenets mentioned: safer, greener, smarter, and one that can accommodate automated, connected, electric, and shared mobility, and all of the connected infrastructure needed to support it. So those are just kind of some of the actions that we take to try to meet our goals.
That's brilliant. And you mentioned some of the people that you work with, so public sector, private sector, academia, and I can imagine it's quite hard to get them all to work together. So what things do you do to make sure that everyone gets along, everyone has the same vision for the future as everyone else?
Yeah, absolutely. This is where we really shine as an organization. I would say that compared to other associations and advocacy organizations in the transportation industry, we tend to have a very large and diverse membership. And in some ways, our membership is truly a microcosm of all the various players in the transportation industry. So, convening individuals and organizations from the public sector, the private sector, non for profit, academic institutions, and working really hard to reach consensus on sometimes really thorny policy issues is sort of what we do best. It's not always easy reaching consensus, but finding a way forward or a policy position or a solution that works in some ways for all of our members and their various perspectives on these issues is really sort of the bread and butter of what we do at ITS America.
That's great. And so, what do you think are the next steps that need to be taken by the mobility industry to progress that little bit further in the next 12 to 18 months?
Yeah, I think we can expect a number of sort of almost exogenous shocks to the mobility ecosystem in the short term, maybe the next 2 to 5 years or so. We can look to some of the new and cutting edge technologies that we're already sort of seeing deployed, like digital twinning technology, automated or regional air mobility, personal delivery devices. These are sort of some of the cutting edge things we're seeing piloted and deployed in communities already. These technologies represent, in some cases, new modes, which is crazy to think about, new players in the mobility ecosystem. And the result will be a whole host of policy challenges, workforce challenges, and opportunities that need our attention to kind of work through and grapple with. So, if I had to point to the direction we are going to be spending a lot of our energy on, then in the near term, the next couple years, I anticipate a good deal of bandwidth being spent on some of those issues that I've mentioned and things that we don't even know that will emerge, within the next 12 to 18 months that will undoubtedly change the kind of direction and the balance of the transportation ecosystem.
It's such an open question. It's so hard to put like a pinpoint, isn't it, on what you might see. But so you are joining us at Move America this September. What are you excited for, and what can we expect to hear from you at the event?
I'm excited for so much. I will admit that this will be my first time attending a Move America conference, and that this conference recently kind of hit my radar as an event that everyone who's in the transportation ecosystem absolutely has to attend and be present for. So I'm really excited about attending for the first time. I'm really excited to moderate the session I'll be involved in on safe adoption of autonomous vehicles. But even more so, I'm excited for the opportunity to meet and network with all of these incredible movers and shakers in the transportation space and beyond that, people that I might never have an opportunity to meet.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to talk to us, and we are very excited to see you in Austin.
I'm very excited to see you as well, and thank you so much as well.